It's a huge tenement area, yeah. It's an enormous tenement area, over 500 square kilometres. And the resource that we've identified is in the very southern tip of that tenement area. We've identified 30 million tonnes of resource, and our intention is to take that now through the next step permitting and approval processes, mining lease, environmental studies, to mining activity. And we think a realistic timeline for that from now is probably around 15 to 18 months. We've already started on environmental studies. We have a very unusual relationship with our traditional owners, the Hopevale Congress, because that entire tenement area is actually owned under Aboriginal freehold and native title by one body, which is the Hopevale Congress. It's quite unusual, the structure of the ownership. So we took a view very early on. Before we undertook any exploration activity, we actually held a community meeting, showed them what our drill rigs look like, how we would undertake that activity, exploration, how silica sands are formed. We took them through a primer, if you like, on mining activity and what it looks like. We then took the extra step. Typically at exploration stage on tenements, you get a fairly simple 2 or 3 page a quick agreement that says we're going to explore, and if we find something we'll move towards more detailed understandings. Instead, we had the community meeting, and then we put in place project level agreements on a cultural heritage agreement and a conduct and compensation agreement right from day one, before we undertook any activity, which set a really clear template for how we interact commercially and on the ground. So that we also unusually negotiated with Congress to give them a direct project interest. So they have a vested interest in our success, and we need them to work with us ultimately to transition it through to mining activity.